Hello, welcome. This is Ayokpeju Falekulo from Adlo Montessori Training Center. We're here today to talk about praise or not to praise. Well, this is our talk on discipline. It seems that we have been on discipline for quite a long time now. But really, it is one of the most important jobs or things that we need to actually work on with our children. So I think spending this amount of time talking about it is quite worth it. Now, today we want to consider whether or not it makes sense to actually praise or not praise the child. Now you may ask, what is wrong with praise? Praise is good now. Yes, of course, praise is good, and it is good to be positive and to give positive feedback to the child. So, why am I asking praise or not to praise? Now, if you are like me, when my child does something great or something good, or even something that is not that nothing to talk about, but really this is the first time the child has done it, what am I tempted to do? Oh, great job, that's very good. Now, you see, the thing there is that if you do this once in a blue moon, that's fine. But if we keep on praising the child, well done, great job, good boy, fantastic, every single time, we create a situation where we're more or less manipulating the child to do the right thing, because the child knows that when they do the right thing or they do something different or they make that effort, they will get praise. Now, what happens when they don't get praise? They stop doing what they were doing before. So you are not really getting anywhere. It's the same old with using fear or telling them that you're going to beat them up or Juju will come and catch them. We use different ways of trying to get our children to do what we want them to do. Praise is just one other way that we would do it. And so we need to actually talk about praise so that we can see whether there are positive ways of doing it, or whether it has a positive effect on the child, or if it has a negative effect on the child. When you say good boy, good girl, great job, well done, and that is what the child hears all the time. Another thing is the child is expecting it all the time. If the child is expecting it all the time, it's a problem. We're not helping the child to just do things for doing sake and just learn how to be for being sake. We're making them really hooked on the praise. Good afternoon, Mrs. Esson. It's great to have you here. Who else is here with us today? You see, the thing there is that we need to really understand our children, how they think, how they function. Children like to work. Children like to learn. They love to learn. They want to gain new skills. So they don't need a constant, well done, great job, good boy, good girl. They don't need that. It actually hurts them when they get too much of that. So we need to be very careful. They love to learn. They love to gain skills. They love to work. So let them do it. Don't interrupt them with all our own praise, because we think that when we do that, we're helping them. We think when we do that, we're encouraging them to do even more. No. Sometimes what actually happens with these children is that when we interrupt them with praise and all that, if you watch them, observe them, some of them will just walk away from what they were doing. You think you're doing the right thing. right? But it actually puts them off. And for some others, they're expecting it so much that when they don't get it, they don't do anything. So we need to realize that praise has its place. Instead of praising, what could we do? You know, sometimes when a child, especially if it's the first time they've finally been able to achieve this feat that they've been trying to do and they have not been able to do it, they've been getting frustrated about it. When they finally get it done, the child is like, yippee, I've done it. They may not say anything, but that's what they're thinking. So if you understand that, wow, this is a great moment for this child, instead of saying, good boy, good girl, well done, if you just say, even if you say, you did it, that will just make their day. It has said exactly what is on their mind, and it is better than the praise. It just solidifies what they're thinking. It brings it into proper context. It's not praise that will hurt them eventually. It's praise, if you want to call it that, that will help them to continue going. Yes, mommy realized that I did it. It's a milestone for them. And that's all you need to do. Sometimes when a child is painting a picture, you know. Sometimes these children come up with these funny things. Even my 17-year-old, he likes molding things. He would just get paper and sellotape and make it into something, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, what on earth is this boy up to? But he enjoys doing it. Even one of the things that we have to do in the next couple of days that we have agreed on is to go to the shops and go and get him some whatever craft materials he wants to do, whatever it is that he wants to do. So instead of telling him, good, that is great, well, good, or whatever, great, well done, instead of all that, and I don't even understand what it is that he's doing anyway, asking a question about what he has done is much better. Then he can explain himself, and he probably wants to do that, because I find when I ask those kind of questions, then I have a great conversation with him as to what it is that he's actually trying to do. So this way, your praise comes out a bit different. It's like mommy is actually interested in me. She's interested in what I am doing. She wants to learn from what I am doing. It's better than just saying great, good, well done, good job, and you don't even understand what the child is doing. You know those pictures that those drawings that they do, all those things that they are coloring in, most of the time we don't even understand what the child is doing. So instead of just saying well done or whatever, ask them questions about what they're doing. You will get better response, and you'll be able to actually connect with the child much better if that is the way that you look at it. Or try and look at positive things that you have noticed in what they've done or how they actually did it, and mention that. Oh, I really liked the fact that you actually colored within the line. And look at it. It looks really good, doesn't it? And then you can talk about it and ask, did you actually make an effort to color within the line? The child can tell you, yes, I did. I actually paid attention to that, mommy, or I didn't really notice. And you say, wow, you didn't notice. That's really good, because that means that you are actually learning to do this without even having to think about it. So even though you are praising, it is specific. It's not just the flat good boy, great girl, well done business, but you are having a conversation about what they're doing. So when you are working with disciplining your child, for me, it is better to keep praise out of it. Or when you are working with getting the child disciplined, we're not, because when we say we're disciplining the child, most of the time it means punishment. But when you are working with getting your child to a point where they're disciplined human beings, keep praise out of it. Hold conversations with them as to why things are right or why things are wrong, especially when they're over 6 years old. They usually are interested in that. That is one thing. They want to be fair, and they realize that some things that we do as human beings are really bad, and some things, and we can do things in a very good way. They're thinking about things like that. So instead of using praise, try and connect and talk with the child, especially your older children. It's very, very important. The more you talk and you connect with them and you bring out specifics, let them talk about the specific things that they're thinking about, you're making much more inroads to getting them disciplined than if you just use praise. What I find with the Montessori system is, instead of you praising them all the time, you would acknowledge good behavior with this kind of talk, but you would ignore and sometimes even look at the person who has misbehaved with pity. Wow, I can't really understand why you would make that choice, and you would leave it at that. That child will go back and think about what it is that they did. The reasoning child, your child over 6, you will bring them back to where they need to be if you treat them like that. That if you screamed, you shouted, you beat them up, you knocked them on the head, all that is not going to help them. But just goodness, why on earth would you make a decision like that? I really want to know what you were thinking. That will make them think twice before they do it again, and would make them go and think. They're thinking reasoning beings at 6+. So you would get them more disciplined by that kind of interaction than abusing them, than beating them up. So that is what I have for you today. I hope this has been helpful. I can see that I have a couple of people online, but unfortunately, yes, Mrs. Oduni, welcome. It's good to have you here. Mrs. Odulana, it's good to have you here. Mrs. Esson, obviously. You are the people that I can see right now. Thank you so much for being here. I am not sure about tomorrow, so we'll just see how it goes. We have the COVID injection and some other things to get done tomorrow, and the timing is a bit funny, so I might come on a bit later if I can. Thank you very much for being here. Take care. Bye.